I don't know where I can get lighting that's decent enough. Hello. Hi. Hi, cuties. We're dealing. Okay, bye. Welcome to episode 2 of Is This Book Good or are y'all thirsty? And we're doing the big mammoth of that's currently super popular, and that is Fourth Wing. It dropped on my Libby app, and my spinner wheel said to read that next. So we are in the midst of moving. I also have a last day of a convention. I am at DokuCon this weekend. So I have like an hour before I need to go to that. So we're gonna continue packing up this place because this is the failed apartment. This is the nasty, terrible, cockroach infested apartment. More on that later. And we're going to be listening to our audiobook while we continue packing and getting ready. And we're gonna start with Fourth Wing. So, Fourth Wing has taken book talk by storm. I do not have high hope for it. I'm not going to be addressing the problems that I have with Rebecca Yarros herself. There are some controversies out there. You are welcome to look them up. I'm not going to address that in this video because that's not what the spirit of Is This Book Good or Are You People Thirsty is. I'm going to just be analyzing the book itself, not her political views, because we've got issues there. Yeah, I've also heard things about appropriation in these books. I don't have the authority on that because I am American white woman and I don't know the history. There are some other great creators out there who were speaking about her use of Gallic, not Gaelic, but Gallic terms. I don't know anything yet because I haven't read the book. So I won't be analyzing those things. I will try to link those creators who have spoken about it with much more detail and information than I personally have at this moment. I don't have a lot of time right now to go into full research mode. It's a little bit of a chaotic life right here. So anyway, all I know is that there's dragons. There's like, I guess, factions of dragons maybe, and people and sex. I know that there is smut in this. I don't know how much smut is in this, and we're gonna see again, is there plot? Are there character arcs? Is the smut purposeful, or is it just fully gratuitous? Which again, if you've enjoyed the book, okay. I don't know yet. I don't know if I'll enjoy it yet because I haven't read it yet. But sometimes I come off very, very judgy, and that's because I am. I have a lot of issues with certain books and authors who have proven themselves to not be great people. And you know, it's no shame if you just didn't know about certain things. I tend to, if I hear and validate that there is an issue with that person in a variety of different issues, like transphobia, misogyny, racism, those kinds of things, I tend to be like, you know what, I'm not gonna bother giving that author my money. That being said, I did buy a copy of Fourth Wing before I heard about all this stuff. I likely will not keep it anyway, but we're still gonna analyze the book itself and what we're talking about. Okay, cool. Does that make sense? I have a lot of issues that I've learned about this author, so this is going to be a struggle for me not to like sidetrack into that stuff. But we're gonna just analyze, so we're going to pop in an earbud and put together some boxes. I don't have many boxes left, so I'm actually a little worried about this, but we're gonna try to organize this because I have movers coming at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Woo! Let's begin. Also, here is a brief summary about what Fourth Wing is about. If you haven't heard about it, here it is. 20-year-old Violet Sorringale was supposed to enter the scribe quadrant, living a quiet life among books and history. Now, the commanding general, also known as her toughest Talon's mother, has ordered Violet to join the hundreds of candidates striving to become the elite of Navarre, dragon riders. But when you're smaller than everyone else and your body is brittle, death is only a heartbeat away, because dragons don't bond to fragile humans. They incinerate them. With fewer dragons willing to bond than can cadets, most would kill Violet to better their own chances of success. The rest would kill her just for being her mother's daughter, like Xaden Ryerson, the most powerful and ruthless wing leader in the Rydens Quadrant. She'll need every edge her wits can give her just to see the next sunrise. Yet, with every day that passes, the war outside grows more deadly. The kingdom's protective wards are failing, and the death toll continues to rise. Even worse, Violet begins to suspect leadership is hiding a terrible secret. Friends, enemies, lovers, everyone at Basgiath Worth College has an agenda, because once you enter, there are only two ways out: graduate or die. So in essence, like, on a basis of just that summary, like, yeah, this sounds interesting. Intrigued enough. Let's start. Okay, I have put on makeups and stuff and packed a few things, but we have gotten to this part where she's now going to this like parapet thing. So far, it's fine. I forgot to mention that there is a disability rep, and I forget what the I think, is it Ehlers-Danlos syndrome or something? There's a, I forget what it is, but her body's very fragile. And I remember somebody commenting on this about how, oh, she can't even lift her rucksack, kind of thing. So we're getting that kind of damsel-y vibe, but she likes books or whatever, I don't know. But the thing that I wanted to comment on isn't actually about her. She's met two other candidates right now, and one of them's name is Dylan, which I always find weird when we get like a very normal name. I mean, granted, her name's Violet, so I guess they're fairly normal names. But he's like, I'm not dying, and I'm like, yeah, you are. You just said, you don't say that in a fantasy novel. He gonna die. And he has like a girlfriend that he's going to marry as soon as they graduate, because apparently you can get married as soon as you graduate. So I'm sure that's going to be a plot line of stuff, but I'm like, yeah, he's dead. That boy there, calling it, he's gonna die. Yeah, cool. All right, I'm still packing stuff. I just packed up the rest of my clothes in my bedroom, and we gotta organize these boxes somehow. I had to like open a bunch up too because I needed stuff, and I was also looking. I've been doing my makeup all by like my fingers because I packed all of my brushes, and they're at the other place apparently. So cool. What a time. So yeah, that's where we're at. We have about another half hour of stuff we can do. Did you want to say anything? Yes, baby. You excited for your new place? Yeah? Okay, cool. I don't know what to do with these hangers though. I've got all these hangers, and I can't put them in a bag, so I've been putting like my clothes in trash bags right now. But I forgot about my flutes. I have those. Yeah. Ah! I'm stressed. You so silly. Can I have the flutes back, please? Can I have them? Or do we need to sit on them? You step up. I put this in here. There we go. Okay, we have introduced the love interest, Mr. Xaden, whatever his last name is. Oh my god, he's so hot. It's like he's an artist spent years or decades on him, just on his mouth. Ah, he's so exquisite. I hate when books do this. I hate it because it puts so much value on a person's looks than anything else. And I'm ace, so I don't get that whole like immediate I want to get in their pants thing. And I just hate reading it. I get so tired of it. Because now, every time that this character is going to be talking with this person, their mind is going to be, oh, he's so gorgeous. I can't even think straight. It's going to be that. And that annoys me, and it feels very immature. And, That's my anger towards that. I mean, I get people who do like that. I just freaking hate it. Especially the word gorgeous. Granted, she did not use the word gorgeous, which is great, but I see it in books all the time where the main male character is so gorgeous. I hate it. I hate that word. It makes me cringe. It's just very, very annoying to me. So having that immediate, oh, and also, you better stay away from him, like immediately. Like, come on, come on. I just want something organic. And it's already not going to be organic because it's set up this way. So, guess who just died? Bye, Dylan. It's time for me to head out to the convention. I've packed a few more things. We've crossed the parapet. I like how we did our exposition of the world with her. Being a scribe means that one of the ways that she calms herself down is saying useless facts about the world that she would, and everyone in that world would know, but not the reader. So there's some way of, here's how the land is set up, and let's talk about a former rebellion sort of thing, secession that failed, and why it was so good that it failed. Clearly, is, you know, the rebels are always right. We have established our first enemy. So great. Cool, 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 cool. No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. I gotta go though. So we're on chapter 3 now. I'm gonna keep listening as I drive and go to the convention. Okay, now Rebecca Yarros did use the gorgeous for the man. So this is our other love interest, because obviously we're gonna have a love triangle here. God damn it! He's so gorgeous! You know what? You know what? Maybe let's use a different adjective for once in our lives. Cool. Hello. It's a full day after my last update with Fourth Wing. I have not listened to any more of it. Yesterday I was moving and we're moved and we've got stuff here. I have finally had internet again. That was a struggle. And now we are working. We are back at work. I've got a ton of things to do, but I'm gonna start listening again while I am working. I don't know if I said this before or not, because it's been a whole day and my memory is very, very small. But the narrator for Fourth Wing, major props, is Rebecca Soler. I love Rebecca Soler. She is my all-time favorite audiobook narrator, and she is making this a lot better for me. I was physically reading this. I don't know if I would enjoy it as much, to be honest, but I just love her voices. I love how she reads. She has a very captivating voice. I was like encapsulating. No, captivating voice. That always makes me, for some reason, even if I'm like doing, multitasking, I can always register what she's saying. That doesn't always work for every voice actor. For me, it really depends on the narrator. On level of enjoyability for some things, and she's one of my absolute favorites. I have a bunch of favorite narrators, but she's definitely number one. She does all of Marissa Meyer's books, and she's just great. I love it. It's amazing that she's done all these characters, and even though she's like done everything for Lunar Chronicles, Renegades, and Gilded and everything, she still manages to make it so that like I'm not thinking, oh, this sounds like Cinder, or or Cyrilda or anybody. It always sounds like whatever the character is, and so I don't have a problem differentiating between them. So major props to Rebecca Soler for that. That's a plus in this book's favor. But yeah, we're gonna continue forward while I work and go find where my bird just went, because she doesn't know the layout of this apartment yet, so I don't know why you're flying in here. Well, I guess she's so smart. She already made it all the way back to her cage and inside. You good? Okay, bye. So now that I've had time to actually sit on this book for a hot second, I have noticed a few other critiques that I did want to address for this. One of them being the fact that nothing is really unique about this book. And while I can say like, yeah, a lot of stuff in here, it's not new. It's all kind of mashed together. So it's like every fantasy trope that you can think of in popular fantasy media is probably in this book. And I'm not going to say that that's necessarily a bad thing, because I do think a lot of overlap is going to happen in any kind of fantasy you read nowadays, especially with the precedent of like Tolkien and Harry Potter and stuff like that. So I'm not going to criticize Rebecca Yarros for that, as other people have done. I also wanted to bring up there is a eugenics aspect to this, which I didn't talk about at all in this vlog, and I remember hearing about it prior to reading this, but I totally forgot. And I don't think it was as prevalent as other people have made it to be. I do think for sure with having it be like the dragons will, you know, kill anyone that is considered weak, and so the whole society is based on if you're weak, you're useless, which is definitely a eugenics mindset. Do I think Rebecca Yarros meant to do that on purpose? No, I don't, because I think she said she purposely gave Violet Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, but fantasies, it's not named in the book at all, to showcase disabilities. But I do think that the disability representation isn't as great as it could have been, because it is very conveniently ignored or conveniently placed in this. So that's one big criticism that I do think I needed to mention, but I didn't mention in the vlog itself. It was only till after I mulled over the book a little bit more that we got that. Okay, cool, bye. So we've had our first confrontation really with Xaden. He's just so beautiful and dangerous. Oh my god. But it wasn't bad. I'm probably exaggerating the annoyance there. But she has witnessed him having secret meetings with the rebel kids, basically. So in this world, like if your parents had been in the rebellion for succession or whatever, all your kids are marked and they're not allowed to gather in groups more than 3. So they've grouped in much more, and Violet witnesses it, but she doesn't report them or anything. She just listens in and finds Xaden so commendable because he's just trying to help people. But then they all talk about when they can kill her, and he's like, I'm the one who gets to handle her. And I'm like, oh, that insinuation of what I know is going to go down in this book. I already know. I know there's going to be smut in here, and it's going to be between them. So, but still, like, you know, oh, and he has shadow magic. That's his thing, which I remember seeing Reads with Rachel also, like, do a little clip. I didn't watch the full Fourth Wing thing that she did with her husband, but I did see the little TikTok that she made about her having light magic. I'm like, yeah, obviously. Cool. Great. Great. It feels like a lot of people who do the shadow light dynamic are just Darklina shippers. I don't know if Rebecca Yarros is a Darklina or a Raylo even. That's a big one, because I also recently learned that Tea Gonzon, who wrote Hurricane Wars, is also one of the main like Raylo shipper fanfiction girlies out there, who's then made her own one. And when I read the synopsis of Hurricane Wars, I was like, this feels very Darklina. For those who don't know, Shadow and Bone, Darkling, and Alita, which is not the end game of that, but that's like the villain and the main character. There's a lot of shipping out there for that. There are certain times where I'm like, yeah, the villain's way better than what do sometimes we call them, the white bread love interest. I get. I definitely am in favor of it sometimes, not all the time, depends on the villain. I can see the appeal of, like, Darklina. I see the appeal of Raylo. I don't ship Raylo. I halfway ship Darklina, because I really, in the books, I didn't like whatever, oh my god. What's his face? I forgot. That's how white bread he is to me. I forgot his name. He was better in the show, but I still didn't like him very much. So anyway, we're going to continue forward. I just want to take a mini break and be like, this is where we're at. We've had our first real confrontation between the two, how he's threatened her, but you can already tell that, like, he doesn't want to kill her, that he's already like, ooh, I like this girl. Just by his actions, even though she's like, oh, he clearly wants to kill me, because she's just being oblivious. So yeah, I can already see that. Anyway, I still got a lot more work to do, so we're gonna keep on going. I won't film more of my lovely hands, but, you know, content. So we've gotten to talk about the dragons, which is the most interesting part about this book, to be honest. Talking about Xaden and his super dangerous dragon. And then, of course, talking about this black dragon that hasn't bonded with anyone since theirs died. And that apparently writer tried to heal someone, but there's definitely no signet power of resurrection. 20 bucks. Guess who's gonna get that power? 20 bucks. Yeah. Oh my god. So we're in a fighting ring. And of course they're fighting each other. Number one, she was a scribe. I don't know how she knows how to fight at this point, because she's kind of holding her own a bit. Don't get how. It's like suddenly her disability is just vanished for this fight, by the way. It only appears randomly. So I don't know how well the representation really is for this, but she manages to like kick him down. But he's the best fighter they have. And has her pinned. And she is not thinking about how he could kill her, because she's pinned and he has her down, and he's gotten really close to her lips, and she's like, oh my god, the line, you are not attracted to toxic men. It's the line. Oh, I don't understand you allosexual people. Like, he's literally like going to kill you. I mean, he's not going to, because he's agreed to it. Like, they're fighting. And your mind is there. Honey, you are attracted to toxic men. Clearly you are. Why? She's like, I gotta hold my own or whatever. And yet, this is where you're at right now, honey. Oh boy. We are gonna have to pause. My mom is coming over to help me continue unpacking while I work and have a little lunch break. So that's what we've got. Oh, girl, you are attracted to 2 toxic men. I can tell you that right now. Yep, one more thing. So now he's giving her, like, here's what you should be fighting like. Like, he's giving her tips. And then he gives her a nickname. You know what her nickname is? Like, her name is Violet. Her nickname is Violence. Oh, Violence. And I'm like, dude. I mean, I'll give it. It's a clever nickname for a Violet to Violence. Like, that actually works, so I can't shame it too hard. I'm gonna shame some other things in this, though. Well, I'm going to work right now, but I am listening more to Fourth Wing. I didn't get to listen to any more after I did my last update. We are at, like, this second kind of trial where they're doing a gauntlet, and I'm like, this is American Ninja Warrior, because there's a ramp that has a vertical lift, and I'm like, yep, this is Ninja Warrior. I'm not mad about it, because it's kind of fun. It's definitely a fun event, but also I'm like, didn't she just have her shoulder dislocated? So how is she gonna do this? Or was there a time passage that I didn't register? I don't know, but yeah, I'm only a little confused about that part. And yeah, we're gonna keep driving now. Okay, bye. Hello all, we are at work. I've been listening more. A lot of things I predicted, true. That whole big dragon that won't bond again, obviously. We have had a twist though, because it had this moment of like, oh, is it gonna be this other dragon? Because that would have been also, you know, predictable, but appropriate. But no, we're going to be oh so super special and bond with not 1, but 2. 2 dragons. What? Because she's so special. It's not bad though. I really can see why people like this book, because it is entertaining. It's got a lot of predictabilities and stuff, so it's not, you know, the best book ever, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be. Granted, literally every time we see Xaden, oh my god, he smells so good. Just, that's where her mind goes, and I'm like, can we focus on something else? Can we just, so that's really the parts that I'm like, ugh, don't need, unnecessary. If you want me to really support this main character, you could have taken that out and then still had an organic, like, relationship form. But the fact that she keeps going back to all of his, like, physical attributes and stuff just takes out the authenticity for me, personally. So, anyway, I'm gonna continue forward, but we've just had the dragon reveal. Ah. We are done with work, and I am about just over halfway done with Fourth Wing, and I was actually enjoying a lot of it. I do really like the dragons. I think this is where the whole she's mispronouncing Gaelic words comes into with the names of the dragons, but I don't know for sure. I don't speak Gaelic, but I think that might be where we're at. But our girl Violet is just so special, y'all. So special. This is where it's becoming not Mary Sue, but it is very, look at me, I'm not like other girls. You know, because she had scribe training. She's so smart because she had scribe training, and she, spoilers, I don't know if I already said this or not, but like she gets 2 dragons, and one of them is that big, fancy, amazing dragon that no one thought it would ever bond again. It is the most powerful dragon ever. And then it's a super weak baby dragon that people were like gonna kill for some reason. It didn't make sense. But yeah, and that dragon is mated with, of course, our boy Xaden's dragon, so that makes them have a bond now too. And she just can't stop thinking about how he smells so good, and you know, just every time she sees him, she just wants to climb him like a tree. I hate that phrase, by the way. The I want to climb him like a tree, because it's just emphasizing I'm so small, I'm so feeble. Even though the whole point of the book is proving that she's not feeble, and she's fighting against her best friend, former love interest, who, like, we really were building up to hate him, which I found very kind of annoying. If you wanted this to be a true love triangle and stuff, give him some redeeming qualities. But he's just kind of an overprotective asshat who is like, does everything to protect you, but he has no faith in her, and you know, she's proven time and time again. So it's like, it's very easy to not ship that side of the love triangle. And if you're gonna do a good love triangle, you should make it hard for the reader to choose between the two, not make it a very obvious one. I think that's one of the things that people get annoyed about with love triangles, is that. And I know a lot of people are gonna argue about it's a love arrow. I don't fucking care. I don't care. I'm gonna say love triangle. That's the trope name. I don't care. Yeah, but that's one of the most annoying things. It's just her constantly, anytime, like life or death situations, all she thinks about is how beautiful this man is. And I'm like, get over it. You know, like, I would respect her so much more if that wasn't her entire internal monologue. And it's driving me a little bit crazy. And then there's this conversation side where she's like, God, I miss sex. And I'm like, God, you allosexual, you know? And it's always, there's innuendos with Xaden, but obviously he hates her and he's never going to be interested in her or whatever. He doesn't sleep with first years. It's one of his things. And I'm like, well, according to chapter 30, you're about to. I think that's what I've heard is chapter 30 is the episode, the chapter. I don't know yet, because we're not there yet. But yeah, and then, yeah, making it so that she gets attacked by a bunch of people and she gets her manifestation of signet powers, because obviously she's going to have 2 now because she has 2 dragons and the dragons give you these powers. And it's just, that part's really annoying on me. It's just how fucking special she is, and this, her, like, I love that we have a disabled character that is special, but her as a character herself, her personality is grating. It's grating on me. I like some of the side characters a lot more. And this incident with her, like, almost dying, she's like almost getting assassinated, triggers some of her powers, and ends up getting another person killed, because she saw them. They're the one who let them in, and it's this big thing where Xaden believes her point blank, and her other love interest does not. Like, he can't believe it, you know, and he demands to, like, see it. He needs the proof and stuff, and he doesn't trust her. And so it's like, that's why it's like this love triangle doesn't really work, because none of us are gonna like Dane, no matter what at this point. And early on, I wasn't gonna like him, because everything he was doing was just emphasizing her disability and how weak she is and how feeble she is, rather than believing in her and helping her. Whereas Xaden, while an asshole, has been helping her, has been like, obviously you can do this, stop whining about it. So he's an asshole about helping her, but he's still doing it, which is where the love triangle breaks very easily for me as a reader. Anyway, we have to go clean my other apartment now. I'm gonna keep listening. But yeah, so I don't fully hate this book, but I have a list of grievances at this point. We're over at my old place. We've gotten to a chapter where they've made out now. My God. And of course, he stops it because he's so chivalrous. And she's not in her right mind because it's the dragon's energy doing it, because the dragons are fucking. This is very echoey in here now. Yeah. Anyway, and he teaches her to shield. And he says all these things that she is just absolutely oblivious to. Because he's like, because you don't actually want this, which is insinuating that he actually does, because he knows how to shield. But she completely ignores that, of course. So, super fun, awesome times. I guess they didn't leave me the paint yet. So we're going to spackle, sweep this, and then that's all I have to do here, because I'm just waiting for them to bring me paint. But they did not drop it off yet, so that means I probably have to come again tomorrow. Hello all, and welcome to day 3 of reading Fourth Wing. Hopefully we'll finish this book today. I don't remember where I left off on telling you how far I've read. I'm trying to remember. I know that they've been able to start talking telepathically to each other, and very flirtatious, and yeah, there's been a lot. I guess they've kind of acknowledged the feels. I don't know. Not really though. I don't know. It's a weird situation where, like, Xaden is messing with her in her mind, and she's now learned to mess with him back. But they didn't really, like, actually talk about their feelings, or if they're just, like, doing whatever now. I don't know. It's weird. There has been the situation reuniting with our sister. Sister's pretty badass and cool, and I like that the sisters have a good relationship. You don't get to see that a lot in a lot of books. Usually there's always sisters pitted against each other, and it's always like, the younger one is annoying and slutty or whatever, and the older one is strict rules and whatever. There's very blatant stereotypes for older sister, younger sister tropes in books, and I'm a younger sister, so I'm often very offended by it, by being always cast as like the party girl who sleeps around, and I'm like, that's not me as a younger sister. Am I annoying? Sure, I'll take that one. My sisters will definitely verify that I am the most annoying of us, but I hate that dynamic. So it is refreshing to see this kind of dynamic. Anyway, we finally have closet rods, so I can start actually putting away my clothes. So we're gonna do that while we continue listening, and for a little bit on my lunch break from work. So we have a half hour to do that. Let's do it. we are now at chapter 30. This is gonna be the smut chapter. So far, she's had her first kill, and she's upset about it. And honestly, I think it's a fairly viable, or very valid, reaction to your first kill, even if the guy was a total dick. But yeah, we're about to get into Smut Town. Here we go. All right, lunch is over. Oh God, that sounds so weird after the chapter I just read. Yeah, that was really uncomfortable smut. For me, some of the ways that it's written, like, does it have to be that graphic? Like, do we have to use those words? I was gagging. I'm too ace for that. I'm way too ace for that, y'all. I don't think when you're writing intimacy, I don't think it needs to be that graphic or that detailed on what's the mechanics of everything going on. I feel like you could have done better, like how Laini Taylor does this for like Strange the Dreamer. It's more poetic, it's less thrust. Which, using the term thrust and tongue is weird because, like, she said, like, he kept thrusting his tongue, and I'm just imagining him like a woodpecker. It's so weird. So anyway, we're through that. We're over that. Okay, I have to go back to work now. I'm not going to listen while I work because I have so much stuff that I have to focus on. That we're gonna pause on this for more repacking later, or unpacking. But we've got a lot of stuff in the closet and stuff, but... Alright, hello again. I've been out and about, not being able to listen to too much, but we have about 2 hours left. Now that the smut part has happened, it seems like all these characters can think about is doing that again, and their whole telepathy is very annoying, and like they're like teasing each other while also being like, don't fall in love with me, and it's annoying. I do appreciate Violet's stance on being like, I can't separate like emotional connection and sex, so this is happening, buddy. And she's like, you're into me, I know you are, because of all the things that he's done for her. And he's like, no, I have to blah, 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 dark broody. Very annoying trope that I'm not into, but I appreciate her take on it and not being like, oh, well, I guess if that's all we can be, you know, the way other heroines I've seen portrayed. So I do appreciate that she's like firm on her stance here. I don't immediately like that she's like, oh God, what if he likes somebody else, you know, whatever. But we're gonna continue just unpacking. I'm trying to find the pegs for the other bookshelves, and I don't know where I put them. But like, I don't know if I threw them in a box with books, but the pegs for all these guys are missing because we finished the ones on here, but I can't find, so I had a whole baggie full. The other baggie, I don't know where it is. So I might have to start opening boxes of books, because maybe I threw them in with some books. I don't know. I don't remember, but we'll figure something out. My tongue's weird right now. I feel like I bit it in the back, but I don't know. Anyway, that's where we're at with Fourth Wing. So it's definitely taken a turn for, ugh, why? Why you gotta act like this? Whatever. So I'm gonna hunt for stuff out here. I think I'm gonna try to take apart some of these boxes out here, because I don't know how that battery was already dead. I barely used that one today so far. So anyway, let's just get going and work on stuff and finish this book. I did it. I finished it. Okay. So there, just recapping what I read since last. Again, these characters need to freaking focus. There's just so much. There was more smut. There was more, and I don't think it's necessary. I'm gonna deem the excess of smut and smutty telepathy and just personal smutty thoughts unnecessary to this story. We get it. You're attracted to each other. Yeah. I totally saw one of the big final twist. Yeah. I didn't know the whole time, but once we started getting to a lot of secrets being revealed, I'm like, oh yeah, that character is definitely going to show up. And I was correct. I was very correct there. I knew the whole time. I mean, someone who's cloaked in shadow obviously is going to have secrets, and that was no shock. Not a bad thing to guess twists. It means the writers usually have done a decent job of guiding the reader to that. So, not mad about that. I do think that a lot of the tropes in this are overused. The romance in particular, it's just like, that was a lot of like, what's the word? It's just pointless smut. The pointless smut, and then like, it's like once characters are together, that's it. Like they go head forward, or I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. They go just right into it, into the I love yous. I mean, granted, there's bickering about love in this. And the final chapter, here's what I don't like about this final chapter. It's now from Xaden's point of view at the very, very end. And I don't like an imbalance, and this might just be a Tism thing. I don't like an imbalance of POV. So I get kind of why there was a shift, because we ended up unconscious. But I didn't like that suddenly we got into his POV. I don't know if the next book is going to have shared POVs. I think that would be better. I think it would have been better in general if we had shared POVs the whole time. I would have liked that, or just not at all, honestly. So I don't like that we had that switch. That felt more gratification for the readers, so that we can know just how attracted he is to her. Because every 2 seconds, one of these characters is just thinking about screwing the other one. And it's like, can we value something else? And like, that was one of the reveals, is like, he wanted her since he saw her. And that's one of the things that I really, really hate. I'm not a love at first sight kind of person, because that seems very superficial to me. And I just don't like it, because then it really is just based on looks that relationships are built on when it's love at first sight, because you don't know the person. You can't love someone just by seeing them. That doesn't make any sense in my brain. It doesn't work. You can have lust, and they definitely have a lot of lust. But yeah. So overall, I would probably give this like a 3 out of 5. I liked a lot of aspects. Like I said, I liked the training. I liked our American Ninja Warrior moments. Plot-wise, it had plot. I'll say that. It had plot. It did have some character growth. Not as much growth as I would like. I do think the disability representation in this was convenient disability rep. There's several points where it's just like, we're going to forget that she has this condition. It's never mentioned because it's, you know, it's a fantasy world, so they don't have Ehlers-Danlos, but I'm pretty sure that's the one that this is based off of. And that doesn't go away, but it goes away in certain moments where I felt like we should be reminded of like why things are harder for her because of this condition. So I felt, that's how I felt about that. Now somebody else can correct more about that or can talk more about that, because I obviously don't have Ehlers-Danlos and I don't know the full extent to what that entails to a person. So I also can't speak about the Gallic stuff. I think that is just in the dragon names, and they're probably mispronounced is what I've heard. I can't really speak to that. We're not going to talk about Rebecca Yarros's political views right now, because that would also, in general, those kinds of things do affect my reading. They affect me. I don't separate author from material. I can't do that. But overall, for what we're judging it on, I would say that this is a 3 out of 5. It has interesting moments. I enjoy a lot of the characters in it. I was pretty devastated by the final big character death that happens in this. I was very upset about that. But I just think it was unnecessary on how sexual this book got. And it doesn't for the first, that's why I like the first half a lot, because it's not very sexual. It's just a lot of the main character going, oh, he's so gorgeous. Oh, he's so massive. I want to climb him like a tree. There are a million, how many times do you need to say climb him like a tree? I hate that phrase. Calling him gorgeous and stuff. The big betrayals as well, like, that kind of, I don't know how we're going to deal with that in book 2. I do think, if I'm just reading this, like, I kind of do want to know what the next book is. The problem is I don't want to support this author because of the political stuff that we're not talking about in this video. So if I do read the next book, I'm not going to be spending any money on it. I don't know. It's up in the air right now about stuff. Rebecca Yarros has time to correct herself. I'll say that. If she does, great. Then I'll have a bit more respect, but right now I don't. So yeah, yeah, if this is one of those and I'm like, the hype for this book is too much, I do think. I don't think it necessarily brings anything new to the fantasy table. It is a fun time. But I do also think it's getting the Twilight treatment where it's the popular book to hate. And I don't think it deserves as much hate as it's getting. But I also don't think it deserves as much hype as it's getting. I think it's pretty standard. Like, here's a fun fantasy with dragons. Have at it. I can agree with that it's entertaining. I see the appeal for a lot of people. I get why it's sold so many copies. I understand. But I disagree with a lot of stuff in it. And I think it would have been a better book if it had more of a focus on the world, on the characters developing on themselves, and building a relationship that's more than just their physical attraction. Now, they say, like, Xaden says, like, oh, he's so attractive, she's so intelligent. You know, is she? But, yeah, she was trained to be a scribe, so she is knowledgeable. But I didn't see anything like spectacularly intelligent about her. She figures some things out pretty quick. And, you know, good job. But I don't see any other full connection between them other than them just constantly being physically attracted to one another. So that's where we're at. Now, I do know, I'm pretty sure this series is going to be like 5 books. So this will be intense. And I know book 2 will probably be spent a lot of pining and groveling. A lot of that. So we'll see. If you want me to read book 2 and continue my analysis of this series and this book, let me know, and maybe I will find a way to get a free version of it, or just when it drops on my Libby app, just borrow it from the library. But yeah, we've done it. We've done it. There was a lot of that. Now, I know there's worse books on my my TBR for this project, so I am terrified to see what's gonna end up next for it. But Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have you read Fourth Wing? What are your feelings about it? If you did enjoy it, I'm not shaming you for enjoying it. Like I said, I understand the appeal, but it's got too much hype and too much hate on both sides. I think it's fine for its book itself. If you want to talk more about the politics of it, you can go check out me on Discord or anything. We can talk on stuff there. I'm just not going to bring it to the forefront of here because A, I'm not a great source for these things. There are a plentiful supply of other creators out there who talk on these topics. I'll try to see if I can find any really good ones, and I'll link them in the description below if you so desire to learn more about all their controversy surrounding this book and this author. So, cool. All right, there's that. Here's your final scorecard, and I'm gonna go now. See you next time, cuties. Bye. I feel like if I was fit... Where are you going? You don't know the layout yet. Where did you go?